Both sides of the war in Ukraine burned through incredible amounts of ammunition, and stocks were strained around the world. The war prompted the U.S. Army to rethink how much it should produce and stockpile for both itself and its allies. A U.S. official told Business Insider that the Army is both increasing production and modernizing its process, as both sides of the war in Ukraine consume munitions at staggering rates. The U.S. Army says it is rethinking what it needs for a possible future large-scale war. But with increased production of 155 mm artillery shells in particular, the Army is looking at how modernize its ongoing manufacturing stockpiles to both continue support. Allies like Ukraine and Israel have enough ammunition should the United States find itself in a difficult situation, a high-intensity conflict, especially against a major military power. The Army is looking very closely at the war in Ukraine and how munitions are used to inform our decisions regarding munitions requirements. Douglas R. Bush, the Army's Assistant Secretary for Acquisition, Logistics and Technology, told Business Insider, recognizing that large amounts of artillery are being used on both sides of the conflict. The Army is investing to better prepare for potential conflict and support Ukraine as it continues to fight for its freedom. Part of these efforts are ambitious short-term goals, such as increasing 155 mm production from 30,000 rounds per month currently to 100,000 rounds per month by the end of 2025. But there also appears to be a larger, longer-term effort to ensure a stronger supply chain and more stable munitions production, both domestically and with support from U.S. partners. Looking at timeline, these investments appear have come after Russia began its full-scale invasion of Ukraine and both sides began expending massive amounts of munitions to pound the opposing army. Launching enough artillery shells seriously strain or even push out stockpiles around world. It seems partners will send controversial weapons such as cluster munitions to slow down ammunition consumption. Ukrainian artillery fires at the front line during heavy fighting during Russia's offensive against Ukraine near Bakhmut, Ukraine. April 13, 2023. Pfaffenbach Many weapons systems have had their moment at some point, including Storm ShadowSCALP long-range cruise missiles, first-person view drones, Russian Kinzhal ballistic missiles, and Western tanks like the Leopard Challenger. In the war so far, however, this conflict appears to have been most marked by artillery fire, providing strong evidence for its role in future conflicts. Ukraine relies heavily on systems such as towed 155 mm and 105 mm howitzers and rocket artillery. Assets such as the high-mobility artillery rocket system. It pummels Russian forces miles away, destroys advancing troops and vehicles, as well as command, control logistics. It relies heavily on the United States and its NATO allies for ammunition.